I love that feeling of accomplishment when I've finished a book. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we're doing the 24-hour readathon announcement. So there will be a couple of changes, so I'm going to quickly go through those. First of all, the theme for this month and the months going forward. So this is a bi-monthly readathon that I do. It's going to be changing, instead of having different themes, to just the one theme of tackling your TBR. Back to basics. That's what I originally wanted this to be, and I just got carried away. So we're just gonna reel it back, and the 4 prompts will not be changing, so they're going to be the same, which I'll do in these announcements bi-monthly, and the readathon takes place bi-monthly. Very simple. Of course you can combine the 4 prompts into one if that makes it easier, or however you want to. If you can't take place on the day of this readathon, which will be the 14th of December, because that's when my shift work allows for it, if you aren't able to do that, you can do it on a completely different day, or if you want to take place over a week or a month, it is completely up to you. This is designed to be flexible, no stress. Let's get to the prompts though. So the first prompt is to read a book on your TBR. Any book, anything you want. Pick it up, read it, as long as it's from your to be read pile, whether that's physical or on a Kindle or even an audiobook, whatever it may be, just choose one of those. And for me, I'm going with Hex by Jenny Fagan. This is a book I've had my eye on for a while. This was on a previous video for a TBR where you could choose what book I read. This one didn't get voted for, but a lot of people did say that this would be really good to read in October. I didn't get round to it, so December it is. And this one is about witches. It's a bit of a time traveling one. We're following one witch from 1591, and she gets visited by Iris, who is from modern day, and they have a conversation. It's meant to be amazing and powerful. I've heard really good reviews, so I'm super excited to read this one. It's also very short, only 100 pages, so that works perfectly for the fact that I'm doing this all within 24 hours. The second prompt is to continue a series. Now I don't know if you're like me, but I'm very good at starting a series and terrible at finishing them, so that's what that prompt is for. If however you don't read series, you're more of a person that just reads standalone books, that's absolutely fine. This could be a prompt to just finish that book that you're in the middle of, or finish that book that you started and then put down a little while ago but keep thinking about. You can use the prompt for that. For myself, I've gone, again, keeping it nice and light because I am trying to do this in 24 hours, and that's Tokyo Ghoul Volume 8. This is a manga that I have been reading for the better part of this year, very slowly. I do enjoy it. I've said many a time I use manga to break up my reading, especially if I find myself reading a lot of the same genre and I want a bit of a change, or if I don't want to focus on anything too much. Manga is my go-to, especially because of all the images in it. Makes for a very fast read. This one in particular, we're following our main character who gets tangled up in the ghoul world. This is all taking place in Japan, and ghouls are humans, but they are humans who need to eat flesh to survive, specifically human flesh. They also have these different powers depending on the type of ghoul they are. It is very interesting. Humans obviously don't want anything to do with them. They're trying to kill them all, but with our main character having a foot in both worlds, you get a very interesting perspective. I'm really intrigued to carry on with this one. Volume 7 was really quite dark. Our main character was getting tortured for a lot of it, so I'm really intrigued to see where this is going to go. The third prompt is to read a book you keep putting off. I have loads of books. I have stacks of them. I've got books on my TBR that I've had for over 2 years, or I like book buying, it's what I do, but there are some books that just don't tickle my fancy quite as much, or I keep putting them off for one reason or another. And so that's what this prompt is for, again, for yourselves as well. The book that I've chosen is Wakenhurst by Michelle Paver. I keep talking about this book. I've been talking about it since I picked it up ages ago. It's been like over a year now. And it sounds exactly like something I'm going to love. It is dark, it's gothic, it just sounds so good, but I keep putting it off, and I couldn't tell you why. Generally with these sort of books that I keep putting off, I end up loving them, and maybe that's why. It's like I have such high hopes, I'm a little bit worried, or I don't know. But for whatever reason, I've kept putting this book off for absolutely ages. And this one spans 5 centuries, which is another reason why I keep putting it off, because I can be a bit iffy with time jumps. But Wakenhurst is a darkly gothic thriller about murderous obsession and one girl's longing to fly free. And that sounds like everything I normally love. And you know what? It's time. I can't keep putting this off. It's got to be done. So that's what I'm going to do. This one is one of the longer ones. It's 385 pages. So I don't imagine that I'm going to finish this book, but I definitely want to at least get halfway. That's the plan. And the final prompt for this Tackle Your TBR Readathon is to read the shortest book on your TBR. Now that could be like this, a genuinely short novella. It could be part of a short story collection that you have that you've been making your way through slowly. You could just read one of those short stories. The reason why I have this prompt on here is because I love that feeling of accomplishment when I've finished a book, especially during the 24-hour readathon, when you can just go, you know what, yes, 30 minutes later, I've finished my first book for this readathon. Absolutely love it. That's what I love doing. But also it's just an accomplishment to be able to be like, I've finished a book off my TBR, and it doesn't matter how big or small it is, it's just a good feeling. And so that's what this is. I have gone with Oscar Wilde's Lord Arthur Saville's Crime, and I don't know too much about this one. It's Wilde's supremely witty tale of dandies, anarchists, and a murderous prophecy in London high society. Don't know too much about it, but in the last 24-hour readathon that I did, I read the uncensored version of Dorian Gray and I fell in love with it. So reading more of Oscar Wilde's work is a really high priority for me, and this one itself is actually less than 50 pages. This one is, oh okay, it's 50 pages exactly, so this is not going to take long at all, especially seeing how small this book is. So that is the readathon. Those are the prompts. Remember, you can combine these in any way that you want to. I have kept it really simple, and literally the point is to tackle your TBR regardless of how many books are on them, just to get through some and enjoy it, and remember to take a day for yourself. But there we have it. Those are the 4 books that I will be reading for my 24-hour readathon. Let me know if you're taking part and what you will be reading, or if you're going to be doing this over the course of a month, etc, etc. I do have a Discord where I chat about these books in depth, especially during the day. I give updates of what I'm reading, how I'm finding it, etc. I will have that linked below so you can always join in the conversation. I think this might be the first time I've done a manageable TBR for my readathon, especially because I've got 3 very, very short books and I'm just hoping to at least get halfway through. But based on all of this, I should actually be able to finish it. But we'll see, because I might enjoy it too much to want to rush read it. I have that sometimes, but that was the idea of these short books, is that I can break up my reading of Wakenhurst with these 3. I don't know why I'm explaining that to you. You get the idea. But anyway, I hope you do enjoy. I hope that you like this idea of the readathon. Let me know what you think about it, with changing it to just tackling your TBR. And let me know if you're going to take part, as I've said, and join in Discord. Like, let's have fun with it. But I think I've rambled for long enough, which isn't even a long video, but I feel like I've repeated myself a lot, so I'm sorry. But I hope you have enjoyed, and yeah, let's just do this. Let's tackle those TBRs. So I think the emoji for today is going to be a bird for Hex, a blackbird if there is one, because that is beautiful. I'm so excited to read this book at last. So that's the emoji, and as usual, thank you so very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it that thumbs up, subscribe and comment to let me know that you're here. Those 3 things really do help the channel out, so if you wouldn't mind, it would be very grateful. But regardless of that, social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next one.